I'm curious about this list.
The list.
Yes.
My list. Okay, so
Gets out the scroll.
no, I got it at home. I put it in my fridge.
Oh my gosh! Wow. She's serious. She's serious.
Yeah,
I like the commitment.
I'm big on,
I like the commitment.
I'm big on manifesting. So I was working on myself, right? And by working on myself, I realized that I had a lot of things that I needed to work from previous relationships.
Sure.
So there was toxicity on both parts,
Mhm.
but somewhere along the line, I picked up my ex-partner's bad habits.
Interesting.
Why? I don't know. So you carry that into every relationship, right? And obviously, you need to take a break, stop, and think, why has this gone wrong? What is the same? What's the similar pattern that's happening? Why am I attracting this kind of people? And why then this sort of similar? And then it's very difficult for you to genuinely realize that. So I had to start going backwards and seeing, okay. And then I found out that I myself had a lot of toxic traits that obviously is very difficult to accept. So I had to kind of take myself, like see myself in third person and kind of see the relationship and everything. So I started to write down everything, right? Everything that my ex-partners did, and I had picked up some terrible traits from them.
Interesting.
I didn't know. And I was carrying those traits even in friendships. So yeah, I had to work on that. And that took me a while, a long time. And after I worked on that, then I decided to make a list. So I'm big on manifesting. Very big on manifesting. So I thought, okay, so now that I'm healing, this is sort of the person that I want to be. And I want someone similar. Because I'm not perfect, I'm also working towards myself.
Yeah, of course.
But if someone has toxic traits, that's fine. If someone has got a terrible past, that's fine, And if someone is working towards being that person, that's who I want to be. I don't want someone that's perfect and that has completely worked on everything, because every single person needs to work on something.
Completely agree. Yeah.
But if you are aware of your traits, if you are aware of what you need to work on, not change, but work on, then that's the person I want to be with. Because he's someone that's aware, right? Because it's very difficult, and every problem arises when you say to someone, hey, I don't think it's okay for you to be like going out for a weekend, not text me at all, or not call me at all. And then all of a sudden I see, this is an example, this has never happened to me.
Yeah.
But it's not okay for me to see like pictures of you with girls all weekend.
Good point.
Like, wow, you didn't text me. Then this person says, oh, I was just, partying, Then it will be a problem, because they don't realize, okay, I may have done something wrong. But if you're aware, you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I didn't think, because they were friends from work. I didn't think, okay, so how can we work on this?
Exactly.
How are we gonna get there? Okay, so okay, this is what happened, and then you're having a conversation with an adult that is aware, self-aware. But if you're with someone that doesn't have any accountability at all, and is not aware that they have these traits, then I'm not interested.
Okay. So what's the list?
I am not,
So self-aware. I'd say that's one.
Self-aware. Family values, massive. Massive. This goes from friends and partners. So whilst I was working on myself, I had to stop a lot of friendships as well, because I realized that I was on a toxic cycle, and it was a cycle. It was repetitive, right? So I was thinking, okay, sometimes I'm being really positive, but what happened there? So I had to literally dissect all my life. And I thought, okay, every time I speak to this person, they're very, very negative. And believe it or not, when you speak to someone right now, I'm like really happy. I'm like, hey. And I speak with you, and you're like, oh, all of these horrible things have happened, blah, blah, blah. And you empathize, right? And it's okay. But if I call you again and again and again and again and again, and every single time you're speaking bad of someone, or you are victimizing yourself, but not doing some, not problem solving,
Yeah.
that is a very different story,
Hmm.
because you're always in that pattern and you're kind of dragging me into that pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
So if I'm working towards being a more positive person, etc., and if I speak with you and you're in that scenario, I can't
Yeah, that's
necessarily speak
draining,
with you all
isn't
the
it?
time.
It's
Yeah,
very draining,
it's extremely
especially if
draining.
you're stepping into being like positive, looking on things that we can be grateful for and appreciative
Yeah.
of, and be like, wow, like, life is good. I'm grateful for the things I have. It's not perfect, but I'm grateful for what's there. If someone's just always on the downer,
Yeah.
you can't, I don't know, you can't survive around that person without it affecting you. You can't, for sure.
No, it's super draining.
Do you, when you say, for example, you've attracted the same kind of guys,
Yeah.
do you mean like personality type? Do you mean like in terms of attractiveness, in terms of temperament? What do you mean?
I went through this. I had therapy even. I had therapy for a while, and I had to do like I had to go back to my childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I went back to my childhood, I realized I was dating. I know, that always everyone says like, "Oh, she's got daddy issues."
Yeah,
It is truth. You got daddy issues or mommy issues.
sure.
It is truth.
Mm,
And then I realized I was dating my. Sounds disgusting, because as soon as you realize that, it sounds absolutely disgusting.
yes.
You are dating your dad.
Right. And do you have a good relationship with your dad or not so much?
No, I have a great relationship with my dad now, but I didn't see the bad or the toxic traits that he had towards my mother. I
Right.
did see them, but of course, as a child, you don't see
Mm.
it in that way. You see it as is my father, right?
Yes.
But you don't see it as a partner. But so it happens that my previous partners have done the same to me. So
Mm.
I was idolizing or idealizing.
Idealizing. Oh, what, your father?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Idealizing.
yeah. And I was always excusing him for
Mm.
mistakes that he had done, right? For example, if he was very drunk and he's ruined a family party because he was drunk, I'll be like, oh, but he had a very hard week at work. He didn't mean to,
Mm.
and that's it. And then he does it again and again. And every time I have an excuse. And I was doing that in every single relationship.
Mm.
So I had to stop and see until what time is okay for you to empathize and understand someone.
Very true. Yes. I think that's definitely showing your pattern. But what was the same? What was similar about the guys you had chosen? Like what? Like if someone, okay, because you're doing your healing work now. So if somebody was going to say before, the old Lucia, this is the kind of man that she would go for, what would they say about that man? Like how would they describe him?
They will describe him as kind, funny, chatty, charismatic, likes to help others, likes nature, um, is a big family values guy, is hardworking.
Those sounds like all great things to me.
Yeah. And he's working on himself as well. And likes animals.
I mean, those are all great things. So what was it? If those were your exes, they sound like great guys.
No, these are not my exes.
No, so I'm saying what would they say about, I'm saying if it was like an ex, because you said you're always attracting and choosing the same kind
Yeah.
of guy. So what kind of guy did you keep choosing?
Do you see the list that I just gave you, right?
Yep.
They had this list. They were ticking those boxes.
Great.
But they also had a counterpart.
So what was that? What was that part?
This is a big one. Lying, drinking, smoking, lying again, and there is a big one that I was telling you about, which is the family values. So from this, I will say how you see that someone says, "Oh, you need to check how they treat a waiter to see how they are with you," right?
Yes.
I always ask about their mother, right? So if this goes for friendships and relationships, if they speak ill about their mother to me, oof,
Mm,
that is a huge red flag,
mm,
massive. Because you can say, okay, so, oh, I'm so sorry, like my mom had such a hard life. She didn't know
mm.
better, you know? That's different to say my mom was, and then proceed to, say horrific things about her in
What
a
what if
bad light.
what if that's true though? Like, what if that parent was a really bad parent?
You don't need to be derogatory,
Sure, you don't have to be doing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
especially if you know the parent and they speak like that about them.
That's true.
That is something I don't tolerate. Oh, for example, if I am with you right now,
Mm.
and then your mom is in the kitchen, and then you shout at your mom for absolutely no reason.
Oh no, you can't be disrespectful. Come on, yeah, you can't be
That
disrespectful to
that
your
is
parents.
awful. No,
Yeah,
but
that's
I've
bad.
seen it on friendships, and I've seen it, and somewhere along the line, something goes wrong. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I'd agree. That's a red
yeah, something
flag.
somewhere along the line. So specifically, that one thing,
Mm.
that is one key thing. If I see that happening, I know for a fact that we can't be friends, because at some point we are going to argue. And you're going to be incredibly disrespectful, because if you are that disrespectful with
To
your own
your
mother,
yeah, with your own mom or
imagine what you
dad.
can do to me.
No, I agree. I completely agree. What's something else you want to bring to the conversation?
Um,
One last thing.
so yeah, that they are both they were both from different backgrounds. Up until today, I have not dated, or I have not been in a relationship with someone from my country.
Is that a choice? Is that a choice?
I just fell into it. I don't know. It hasn't happened. But I believe that it's because I try to find someone that aligns with my values and my cultural morals. So it doesn't necessarily need to be from the same culture,
Mm-hmm.
but if our values and our morals align, then that's okay, even if we are not from the same religion.
Mm.
Because I believe that if you're a God person, that's another thing. If you're a God person, then I also think, okay, you believe in something.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Are you quite religious yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah. If you
yeah.
don't mind me asking, what religion are you? What do you subscribe to?
That's a big one. I identify.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, since I'm a child, I've been to loads of different churches.
Okay.
I grew up in the Catholic Church. I was heavily involved in the Catholic Church. I grew up in a choir. When I was like 15, 16, I had my own group of like teenagers where I was teaching the Word of God. Then I had a group of old people where I was helping them. And, reading the Bible. I used to help them with clothes, food, etc. I was heavily involved. But at some point, I said to my mom, okay, I want to see, is it possible for me to go to another, church? I want to explore.
Mm.
And I started exploring. And the more I go to different, yeah, up until now, like
Mm.
I can tell you, I've been to church on Sunday and I've been to a Christian church.
Mm.
Up until now, all I can see is we all, like, we are all based around like different rules of each church, but we are all praying to the same God.
Mm.
So for me, I believe in God. I was raised Catholic Christian, but I believe that I just believe in God.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
That's it,
Yeah.
because
And I think you need that in
religion
a
is just
partner.
dividing everyone.
Yeah. No, I completely hear that. My last question for you. Two questions. What do you think women want in men that they're not getting today? That they're not finding today? And what do you think men want in women that they're not finding today?
For me, that's the same question.
Okay.
Why? Because we have modern dating and we have traditional values. So at the moment, everyone treats everyone like a disposable
Option.
option. Yeah, it's a disposable object at the moment. So if you can like someone and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to marry tomorrow. And then the next day, you're like, oh, what happened with this guy? I don't know. I just jinxed it.
Right.
I jinxed it. I
Yeah,
shouldn't have
yeah.
said anything. Next time, I'm not going to tell anyone. And you hear that repeatedly. And it's because it's so easy and so simple to just find someone else.
I think that's only for a small percentage of men, but a definitely larger percentage of women, because most men don't really get any attention or any options.
Nah, I don't believe that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the case.
No way.
Yeah. So, like, for example, if I ask you,
Yeah.
out of all a random 50 guys who approach you in your DMs, when you're at events, out and about, old, young, fat, slim, all color creeds and backgrounds, right? Out of 50 random guys who may be taking interest in you, how many of them do you look at and you go, oh, I like the look and vibe of you enough that I'd go on a date with you? Out of 50.
Probably one or two.
One or two?
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most women are like that. Out of 50 random guys who may approach her taking interest in her, she's giving less than 5 a chance. But the caveat is that the same 1 or 2 guys you would give a chance are the same 1 or 2 guys she would give a chance, she would give a chance, she would give a chance. So what ends up happening, you have a very small percentage of men getting all of the opportunity with women. And that's why it seems in your experience, you feel disposable. It's like, oh, he can have any other girl.
Okay.
Like, he has loads of other options.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a very small percentage of men who have an abundance of options. The majority of men do not have that. They really don't. Now, the majority of women have options.
Yeah.
Right? Because most men find most women attractive, but most women find most men as unattractive. Right? So the majority of guys feel like disposable options for the majority of women because those guys don't get a lot of attention. And it's only but the majority of women feel like disposable options to the very small percentage of men. Because if you chose what the guys would call a nice guy,
Yeah.
who maybe he's a good guy, he's nice, he's kind, but maybe he's not that attractive, maybe he's not that successful, maybe he's not that charismatic, but he's a good guy, right? He's a nice guy. She would get that level of investment, commitment, and decision from him.
Right.
But if you're choosing the guys who have a lot of options and abundance, generally speaking, until he's ready to settle down, he's unlikely to choose one woman. He's just going to continue partying, continue dating casually, continue sleeping with different women. And when he's ready to settle down, if he's dating 3 or 4 women, he'll decide, okay, do any of these women represent the kind of woman I want to marry to be the mother to my children? And if they don't, then he'll continue doing his thing until he finds a woman who is. And then when he does, that's when the things with those women end, right? And he'll say, oh, because I'm not ready for a relationship, or I just don't see this. Then 2 months later, he's in a relationship with someone else. And she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You told me that you didn't want a relationship. What the hell? But it's just that he just didn't see it with that woman.
Yeah.
Because when guys are ready to settle down,
They'll do everything.
they know what they want.
Yeah.
And when they find a woman that is like, this is the woman that I would choose, things can happen very quickly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.